In the bustling city of New Haven, the neon lights painted the streets in a kaleidoscope of colors, casting a surreal glow over the throngs of people moving like shadows in the night. Elara, a young woman with a heart heavy with unspoken dreams, navigated the chaotic urban landscape with a weariness that belied her youth. The fast food joint where she toiled by day was a greasy sanctuary of sizzling fryers and stale air, a stark contrast to the vibrant energy that pulsed through the city after dark. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Elara shed her work uniform like a second skin and emerged into the night, seeking refuge in the pulsating heartbeats of the city's nightclubs. The music throbbed in her veins, drowning out the whispers of doubt that haunted her thoughts. Surrounded by a sea of faces lost in hedonistic revelry, she danced with abandon, a fleeting moment of freedom amidst the suffocating weight of her reality. One fateful evening, amidst the swirling chaos of bodies on the dance floor, Elara's gaze locked with that of a stranger cloaked in shadows. Tall and enigmatic, he moved with a predatory grace that sent shivers down her spine. Their conversation was a delicate dance of words and silences, each moment pregnant with unspoken truths. In his presence, Elara felt a stirring within her soul, a dangerous longing for something beyond the confines of her mundane existence. Lucian, as he called himself, was a study in contradictions, charming yet cold, alluring yet dangerous. His eyes held secrets that beckoned Elara closer even as her instincts screamed for her to flee. The allure of danger wrapped around him like a cloak, drawing her into his orbit with an irresistible pull. Despite the warning bells that rang in the depths of her consciousness, she found herself unable to resist his magnetic charm. As their relationship deepened, Elara found herself ensnared in a nightmarish realm crafted by Lucian's malevolent hands. Within this twisted domain of shadows and whispers, morality withered into oblivion, a forgotten relic in the face of unchecked power and depravity. Lucian's actions transcended mere cruelty, delving into realms of unspeakable evil that scarred Elara's soul and shattered her innocence beyond repair. Under Lucian's influence, Elara bore witness to atrocities that defied comprehension and humanity. He orchestrated a macabre symphony of suffering, where the cries of the innocent were drowned out by the echoes of his malevolent laughter. Each act of depravity etched itself into Elara's psyche like a brand, leaving behind wounds that festered with the poison of his influence. In the shadows of his world, Lucian reveled in acts so vile and abhorrent that they defied description. He trafficked in human lives with a callous disregard for their suffering, treating them as mere commodities to be bought and sold at his whim. Innocent souls were torn from their homes and families, their hopes and dreams crushed beneath the weight of his insatiable greed. The line between right and wrong blurred into obscurity as Elara struggled to reconcile her growing feelings for Lucian with the horrors he perpetrated. His dark charisma wove a seductive spell around her, clouding her judgment and numbing her conscience to the depths of his depravity. With each passing day, she sank deeper into the abyss of his world, her own light dimming in the shadow of his malevolence. In Lucian's hands, innocence was a fleeting illusion, shattered by the harsh reality of his twisted desires. He wielded power like a weapon, crushing all who dared to defy him beneath his heel. His reign of terror knew no bounds, his influence spreading like a cancer through the veins of society. And as Elara grappled with the darkness that threatened to consume her from within, she realized that she stood on the precipice of damnation, a willing participant in a dance of evil orchestrated by a man whose very existence was a testament to the depths of human depravity. In the dead of night, as Elara lay entwined with Lucian's form, she felt a chill settle over her skin like a shroud. The truth loomed before her like a specter, demanding to be acknowledged. In that moment of clarity, she saw herself reflected in his eyes, complicit in his sins, tainted by his darkness. The realization struck her like a blow to the chest, leaving her gasping for breath in a world devoid of light or hope. And so began Elara's descent into the abyss, a journey through shadows and nightmares where every step brought her closer to the edge of oblivion. The road ahead was fraught with peril and uncertainty. but she knew that there was no turning back. In Lucian's arms, she had found damnation and salvation intertwined in a deadly embrace, a twisted dance of love and betrayal that would shape her destiny in ways she could never have imagined. Haunted by the weight of her sins, Elara found herself adrift in a sea of darkness, her soul a battleground of conflicting emotions. Guilt and despair clung to her like a suffocating shroud, each breath a struggle against the crushing weight of her own actions. The remnants of innocence that once sparkled within her now lay shattered, scattered fragments of a past she could never reclaim. Trapped in a nightmare of her own creation, she wandered through the shadows of her mind, seeking solace in a world devoid of light. Days melted into weeks, weeks into months, each passing moment a relentless march towards the abyss. The memories of her complicity haunted her every waking hour, a relentless torment that gnawed at the edges of her sanity. The specter of suicide loomed large in her thoughts, a siren song promising release from the unending agony that consumed her from within. In the depths of despair, she teetered on the edge of oblivion, the abyss beckoning with seductive whispers of peace. Yet fate had other plans for Elara, a twist of destiny that would alter the course of her existence forever. In a rare moment of clarity amidst the chaos, she made a choice that would define her legacy. With a steely resolve born of desperation, she turned against Lucian, the man who had ensnared her in his web of darkness. Elara's resolve hardened into steel, forged in the fires of desperation and defiance. With each step towards him, her heart pounded in rhythm with the drumbeat of impending violence, a symphony of retribution waiting to be unleashed. Their confrontation was a dance of death and redemption, a ballet of shadows and light played out on the blood-stained stage of their shared destiny. Elara's eyes blazed with an intensity born of righteous fury as she faced Lucian, his facade of charm crumbling before her like dust in the wind. In that moment, she saw him for what he truly was, a monster cloaked in human skin, a predator preying on the innocent. With a primal scream that echoed through the night, Elara launched herself at Lucian, her fists raining down upon him like hammer blows from an avenging angel. Each strike was a symphony of pain and catharsis, each blow a testament to the depths of her rage and sorrow. The sound of flesh meeting flesh filled the air like a macabre melody, punctuated by gasps and groans that spoke of suffering and release. And as Lucian crumpled beneath her onslaught, his once imposing form reduced to a broken shell at her feet, Elara felt a strange sense of peace settle over her like a shroud. The darkness that had clung to her for so long now lay shattered at her feet, broken by the force of her will and the purity of her intent. In that moment of triumph and tragedy, Elara knew that she had become something more than human, a harbinger of justice and retribution, a beacon of light in a world consumed by shadows. And as she stood amidst the wreckage of her former life, blood staining her hands and soul alike, she understood that victory came at a price far greater than she could have ever imagined, the loss of innocence and the birth of something new. Standing amidst the ruins of her former life, Elara knew that there would be no absolution for her transgressions. She had crossed a threshold from which there was no return, forever marked by the shadows that had consumed her from within. And yet, in that moment of reckoning, she found an eerie sense of peace, a twisted calm born from the ashes of her own destruction. In the crucible of battle, Elara had become something more than human, a harbinger of vengeance and justice wrapped in the guise of darkness. To vanquish evil, she had embraced its essence, sacrificing her own humanity in a bid to protect those who could not protect themselves. And as she faded into legend, a cautionary tale whispered on the lips of those who dared to tread where angels feared to fly, Elara remained as both warning and testament to the fragile balance between light and shadow in the human heart.